Hi folks, hope you're doing well. My name is Marc Gallagher. I am a professional musician here in the UK, and I did a video looking at my pedal board, and I wanted to do a deep dive into pedals individually. Specifically, we're looking today at the Wampler Tumnus Deluxe. So, I used to have a Klon style pedal and I really liked it, but I wanted something fancier with better brand value and also more controls, because when we have all the choice, we then have no choice. But the Wampler Tumnus I love because in Anderton's videos, that pedal sounds basically identical to the actual Klon in blind tests. It's wonderful, really, really good pedal. And basically, I found a marketplace seller for the deluxe version, which has the 3-band EQ instead of just a control for treble. And I went over, I A-B'd my old pedal against his. I got this pedal into similar territory, and that was good enough for me. So I then sold mine on, got this, and voila. So I'm going through my Jet JS600 TGR. This was loaned to me by the folks at Hal Leonard, so thank you very much. I'm going through my Fender Blues Junior and my Vox AC10. Here are the settings of those amps, and here are how I have mic'd those amps. I've also got a couple of room mics. Firstly, neck pickup of my guitar. Here is the sound of my guitar into those amps, no pedals. Here's the Klon. Let me just show you the bridge pickup while I'm here. It's a humbucker. So that's how I've currently set this pedal. Let's take a look. We've got the gain here a little bit like 1 o'clock. The treble's up, the mids are down, the bass is up slightly, and then the level is kind of compensating basically for, you know, I treat my pedals as generally being unity gain. So volume all the way up on my guitar. Here is no pedal. There's not a great deal of volume difference. So let's maybe have a play with, like, first let's take the EQ, let's put it all flat, and let's just figure out what everything does. So gain, I've got it high-ish. If I was to put it right up, let's see how mad we can take it. A common use that people will have for a Klon style pedal is treating it as a clean boost. They might have a high level, but not much gain involved. So the Klon style pedal gives a mid boost of around about 500 Hertz, so that's a thing to bear in mind. I don't know necessarily how accurately the Wampler Tumnus emulates the circuit of the Klon. I just know that it sounds very, very good and very, very similar to it. But in the Klon style pedal, it's got like basically 2 gain pots in one. And what I understand, you don't quite get some of the magic of certain diodes that are used in that pedal when your gain is not past a certain point. With that logic in mind, I usually like to push the gain a bit more, because as nice as it can be with a, like, acting as a boost, I like to just kind of try and push the pedal a bit more, and that's what we have here. Bridge pickup. start getting the things that I want right now, and that's where the EQ comes in, because on the original Klon pedals, you've got a knob for treble as well. So let's start to push the treble a bit more. Can be a bit biting, but just bring the level down a bit. I'm getting a lot of mids there. Now, let's have a look at the mid knob. So let's, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be around the 500 Hertz mark, as this kind of circuit usually is, but let's see. I'm going to just push the mids up and then take them away. That kind of sounds like 2 kilohertz to me. That just sounds a bit more controlled to me, and I like that a lot. Now we've got the bass knob. This bass knob, again, you don't get mid and bass controls in your original Klon. That's what makes this the Tumnus Deluxe. So let's start to push it and see what happens. Obviously, bit much. Let's start taking it away. So I find this really interesting because when you get to that sort of 9 o'clock mark on this, like, it can work in a way of like sort of cutting through if you want something that sounds aggressive, but also, you know, I like that because obviously if you take it away a bit, you can get something that stands out a bit more. But for me and my taste and what I'm currently doing, which is playing guitar on my own, I want bass. I want something to sound round and full. And next thing we've got here is a switch between 2 parameters, normal and hot. I've been in hot this whole time. Let's play through a chord and just swap between the two, see what happens. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm really struggling to hear much of a difference. I think that it clips a little bit more in the hot setting, and the Klon is a hard clipping style pedal anyway. I think it's clipping a little more, but I'm not that sure, quite honestly. So I just kind of do whatever and I just kind of leave it. The last control here is the buffer, which is a little button on the side. When they did the Klon, I think they call it KTR, there was like a limited, cheaper rerun of these. They had some paint on the side which described one setting as almost always better and another as almost always worse. And yeah, let's have a listen then. So the button is currently in, and it has been the entire time. So I think that's the buffer in. I've been playing guitar for a couple hours now, so maybe it's just like hearing fatigue, but I'm not hearing much of a difference, and I can't tell which version is which. The reason why I turned the pedal off as well was to see if you could hear the difference in the signal by just the pedal's buffer. The other way to test whether the buffer is in or not is just to unplug the pedal, because if the pedal is disengaged but unplugged, that means that it's true bypass and you'll still be able to hear. So plug it out. You can still hear the guitar. That means that when it's pushed in, that means there is no buffer. So now it's out. What the fuck? How? How does that work? How does that work? So it is true bypass either way. Then I have no idea. Then I have no idea which one's the buffer without checking the manual. But then again, let's just listen to the pedal and see if you can hear a bloody difference. Here's the pedal on, and here's the buffer. Switches in, switches out. That one sounds thinner. So if this is in, that means the buffer is in. And that gives you a bit more bottom end, which is what I know about buffers. But I don't really think about this. And I struggle to hear the difference between this and between that. And I feel like I've got the bass like sound that I want out of a Wampler Tumnus. I've got what I want out of that, and I might make some small tweaks, but usually I kind of like set this and I just kind of then forget it and I leave it. But hopefully through this you've been able to understand the general sound and controls of the Wampler Tumnus Deluxe. So we kind of went through understanding the extremes of each knob and finding a sound that, at least for me, I quite like. And it's at unity gain, and it's got a bit of a growl to it. And whereas this pedal has a bit of mids to it, I've bumped those out. I've brought the treble in for some bite and given some warmth. I struggle to hear much of a difference between the buffer in and out versus, and also this switch, which I think is for clipping. I'm struggling with that, but hopefully you've still found this video somewhat useful. And thank you for watching. My name is Marc Gallagher. You can follow me on your social media of choice at Marc Gallagher Music, Marc with a C. And yes, you can also go to patreon.com/Marc Gallagher Music and give me money and support the things that I do here and get perks like early access to my videos. I've done some other videos, not only on the pedal board in its entirety, but also I've done some other videos looking at a pedal in depth. So do consider checking them out and, you know, nerding out about guitar pedals with me. Until next time, my name is Marc Gallagher. Like the video if you want, share if you feel compelled to, and follow me on places. I'll catch you down the road.